Hey, Dave Knight here, 123 Day Trade. I thought I would record this towards the end of the afternoon. We have a tiebreaker scenario with a high volume bar being blue, looking to go short on a 123 setup. On the way I look at it, it's 70.33 if we go there, and into the last 15-16 minutes. So I guess you can look at this as close 30 too. So close 30 usually goes for a 1 to 2p target, 1.5 being the area. So a 2 is 31 ticks. I think we can run a minimum of somewhere between 23 to 31 into the last 15 minutes. So looking for 33 and for the market to run back, basically to run back down here to 70 a barrel into close. And we're using this high volume bar right there, and obviously it went up, and now we're looking for the retracement to come back down into close. I'm going to run with 15 tick stop loss, which is 1R, and not move it. 1R is 13 actually, so that's air to 13, and we're going after 31, somewhere between 23 to 31 ticks. Alrighty. So we see that looks like we moved 13 ticks in our favor. 1p target was 25. Does it make sense? Hold on. 33. 70.33. Had the wrong number in there. 70.33. 17 is a 1p target. We run 1p, so want to go to break even here. into close. Now this is close 30 is 1 to 1.5, but I believe we can get 2 today. We want to lock in. Let's go ahead and just lock in 10. 70.02, we'll go 70.03. See if we can get 30 ticks here. So we're going to get 10 to 30 on the trade. And we'll try to see if we can get lock in 13 to 3. 1.5p is 70.10. So this is close 30 being used today on a high volume bar, going back into the well, this is oversold. So it was oversold, overbought. I guess that's overbought. Excuse me, overbought up to 70.50. One P is 17. Go ahead and lock in 19. We'll lock in a 1P target. Close. Two ticks to it is locking in 1. I want to lock in 1P now. We'll lock in 1P. We're actually looking for 70.03. That would be a 2P move down to here. But we locked in 1. 70.10 is 1.5. So we're going to, if we get to 70.07, 06 right in this area, we'll move to 70.11. Okay, we got the 70.09 there. I'm going to go ahead and get 13 now. Call it 14. So what I'm debating about, and I've kind of come to a conclusion that if you've watched my work at all, you know I like 500. That was we're going to go 70.11 now. Just take as much as we can. We're out. All right, 22 ticks there into close. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful close 30. Got a little bit more than a 1P target. Actually got the 1.5 there. The close 30 is designed to try to capture between 1 to 1.5p. So that is the design of the trade itself. The 1, 2, 3 setup kicked in here. Let's get the screen draw tool out. So 1 is up here. This is 2. 3 is right in this area, and it took to right here for it to enter into the trade, and then you see the movement itself. So this is the overbought area, and then we basically complete the triangle. So we go and hit this angle, a descent right there going up against this. So measuring, that's why I thought we could get at least 1.5p on this downward descent to come back down in this area. So I'll put this under my close 30 strategy that I use to capture profits. One of the things that I want to talk about and then go, and if you watched the me bitching on the video, you can tell the frustration that I have here. So if I'm going to sit at the computer all frickin' day, which I'm not, I'm going to look at the morning session, and then I'm going to look at the last 30 minutes. That's the kind of the way that I'll look at. So if I look at the last 30 minutes of trading today, it's 1 o'clock to 1:30. And what I noticed is that we had this bar, actually I had the charts open all day. But I had this right here, and then I saw this over here. So let's look at the tiebreaker, and this is what kind of screwed me up today. And it's volume. Volume is kicking my ass right now because there is none. So this was highest volume bar, I believe, at 8:32 in the morning. And look at this bullshit movement right through here. And then it just kind of seesawed its way up, and then it sold off again. And then you see this right here coinciding with the high of this swing right there to 70.01. And then it comes down for a while, and then all of a sudden it takes off. And then you see the end of trade move right in this area. So crude oil has a tendency to work its way back into, like, the best way I can try to explain it is water seeks its own level. So if we would draw a trend line right here and bring it across, this extension here is like a wave that crests, and then as it comes back down, it seeks its own level. What I mean is that the water and the wave seeks its own level back in this area right here, the previous run that sent it escalating up. Now, if it breaks this, where can it go next? Well, then you'd be looking down in here, and then eventually you look down to here, 64. So looking at previous resistance becomes support. So this is a support level that comes through here, and to me it's an obvious level that coincides with 1.5 to 1p worth of movement. Now every day that changes. The ADR, the average daily range, changes. It's all based upon the movement of the markets over a 9-day span of time. At least that's how I look at it. Doesn't mean I'm right, as I always say, but have a plan of attack. If I would wait today for at least a 1,500 volume bar before I got involved in trading, where was that 1,500 or so bar in the day? And what I'm talking about is a market that's low in volatility. And what do I mean by low volatility? Well, the frickin' market's below 2. ADR is 1.27. The closer we get to 2.0, the better off we are with volatility. So in other words, what I want to see, instead of 31 ticks to get to a 2p move, I want this to be closer to 30. I want 1p. If 1p is worth 30 ticks, then all of a sudden this is worth like 45 and this is worth 60. Or maybe this is worth 90, like 30, 60, 90. Or at least this one is 45 and this is 60 if this is 20 something. So 20, this is like 35 and this is 50. So that's when it gets interesting. When the 1p mark is at least 20 ticks or higher, basically at 25. When this sits about 25, then it's worth looking at maybe a 1,000 bar move or a 500 bar move. But when the volatility is so low, then it pays to be a lot more patient in your trading. At least that's what my research is showing now, after trying to beating Top Step Trader on 9 different occasions, but not being able to stay in. And a lot of my mishaps happen because the market decides to move into, because after a high volatility movement, even if it lasts a week or 2 weeks or a month, like a lot of the times it takes to get into fucking funded, it takes a month to get into it, and the market conditions can change before you get into funded. So yeah, you got into funded because your volatility for that month that you were trading got you in there, but then the frickin' market conditions change when you're into funded, and next thing you know, you get effed over because you haven't and I'm not blaming Top Step Trader. It's just that I didn't have a plan to take on the low volatility of a market that has changed its complexion. And that's because I want to beat. I want to win. I want to win. You know, every day that I trade, I want to win. I don't want to lose. Nobody wants to lose. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to load this up to YouTube, and it'll go into the close 30 tab. So, you know, I'm still waiting on Labor Day for this was the first. If I take into account this bar, this was the first bar that was over 1.5. I mean, this was the first bar that was over 1,500 in the trading session. And then you just have to wait it out to find a place that makes sense to get on the short. Now, obviously you think, well, why didn't I get long? Well, after this bar prints, we're up against R1. So yeah, I thought about it here, but also thought that the branches start getting weaker up here. So yeah, it could have went a lot higher, and it could have, but it didn't. And that's based upon there's no real buying volume as far as I'm concerned in the day. I don't see any real buying volume to support a further move past that 70-50 mark. All right. That's it. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this trade. Talk to you later. Bye for now.